At 5:30, sheltered in South Florida, hundreds of refugee children housed here at a temporary shelter. The question they all now face, what does their future hold? This is the only shelter in the United States taking children, teenagers from Central America, who authorities say were taken into custody at the U.S. border.
CBS 4 Chief Investigator Michele Gillen toured the government-run shelter and got a look into the dangerous crossings fueled by hopefuls' escapes to freedom.
Welcome to America. Just steps from the Homestead Air Reserve Base sits this country's only temporary shelter for unaccompanied minors. Advocates say so many of them have fled violence in their home countries of Central America. A dramatically different world from the one they came from. This sprawling Homestead campus retrofitted into a shelter for youngsters 13 to 17 who entered the U.S. on their own, ending up in federal custody at the border, predominantly fleeing Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador.
These children, so many of them, honestly, are fleeing for their lives. They understand very well how dangerous the journey they're about to undertake is. They do it anyway because they feel they have no choice.
In just days, the count is up to 200. There's intake, physical examinations, vaccinations, preparations for youngsters who may or may not have sponsors and whose future will largely be determined in immigration hearings. They are appointed legal advisors to guide them through the complicated process. The media and stakeholder tours here are quite controlled. We're not allowed in with any recording devices, and no government officials have been made available to us to discuss exactly the procedure here. While they await status, they're housed here and take classes. They're not allowed to leave the property. Boys and girls are separated, and they have 24-hour supervision by staff. The teens who find themselves here are only supposed to stay for about a month. In past spikes of children fleeing Central American violence, in particular from gang violence, I asked how many did the U.S. end up deporting back to their native land? No answer on that available.
The numbers are really unclear, but what we do know is that deportations are currently targeting children and families who recently arrived, and therefore these children will be on top of the list.
While their next stop is unknown to some, their future must be better than their past.
These children are fleeing vicious gangs, drug cartels. Many of them have been trafficked.
Michele Gillen, CBS 4 News.